the most powerful designer drugs are the digital ones we use daily. And we get high off them. One touch, tap, like, scroll at a time. You know, just like tech creators want us to. Use digital without digital using you. Learn more at sync.ithra.com.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find the link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 29. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Australian pop star Charley. She's just released her debut single, Hard For Me, and will have more music coming later this year. In today's episode, we talk about female empowerment through song, tips and tricks of social media in 2021, and her love of Paramore and Julia Michaels. Here we go. Our guest today is one of Australia's brightest up-and-coming pop stars. You might have seen her previously across shows like X Factor and The Voice. She's finally released her first single entitled Hard For Me. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Charley. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Finally just got back from a big writing trip, so I've just had a shower and I am feeling fresh.
I did see that on your socials that you've been away this weekend with, I think, artists like Xavier Dunn and I'm always going to mispronounce it, Chloe, but it's with an X. Is it still Chloe?
It's just Chloe, yes.
Cool,
She
right.
hates when anyone calls her Sloey. Siri calls her Sloey, so the poor thing. Yeah.
How was the trip?
It was insane. We stayed in Kangaroo Valley and my friend Carla organised it with APRA. And we were all glamping and there were 5 rooms a day. And so we had 4 artists in each session, 4 or 5 artists. And it was just honestly one of the most insane experiences. Like, everyone's so close with each other. Like, everyone who's there has done heaps of other songwriting camps and they were like, this is like the closest and the most warm and heartfelt like camp that they've ever been on, which is like crazy. So very, very happy, very lucky and very fulfilled after that.
That's good. That's I find that a number of guests that we speak to who go to songwriting camps, obviously everyone gets something different out of it. But for yourself, do you find that it is kind of, not only do you get actual songs from it, but the relationships that you build and some of the connections that you build as well are quite important?
Yeah, well, I've never really had a solid group of friends and I moved to Sydney from the Gold Coast like 4 years ago. And I've always kind of like wandered around all different friendship groups. And Chloe actually brought me into this one last year. So this is the second time I've done it. And from then on, the first night, I just bawled my eyes out to everyone. I was like, thank you so much. And they've been like my friends from then on. And now, you know, the group keeps getting bigger and everyone's like so loving. I feel like I could just talk about this forever because like Sydney's songwriting community is so strong and so like supportive. I could cry.
If it's going to upset, we won't push any further with it. The new single "Hard For Me" is finally out now, and I know it's been a little bit of time coming. I believe the song was written 3 years ago in Nashville. Is that correct?
It was. Oh my gosh. It was written so long ago. we always thought that it was going to come out when I was like 50 years old because I'm such an impatient person. So I was like, no, I'm going to be 100 by the time I release my first song.
The music video, I feel, would have been very different if you were 50 years old in that same character role. So,
that would have been a bit gross.
What's the reaction been like now that the song is finally out and has been released?
It's been a very good reaction. We've nearly been added to every radio station, which is like, the biggest goal. We haven't been added to Triple J yet, but I don't think the song is very Triple J, so that's so fun. But yeah, everyone has been so supportive and doing their own like acoustic versions and sending videos to me when it's played in like Coles. So yeah, no, it's in 2 weeks it got like 100,000 streams, so I was very happy with that.
That's awesome. That's very good. What was the catalyst originally for the song? What initially sparked the song?
What it's about?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I had just gotten back together with my ex-boyfriend, and that feeling when you're like just starting to like see this person and you're so obsessed with them that when you're wherever with them in public, wherever, you just can't imagine but just wanting to like rip their clothes off, and you just imagine them like naked just sitting there. And I'd always wanted to write a song, that just like had heaps of like embracing like female sexuality and just embracing that like that bubble, like the butterflies that you get inside of you. So then, yeah, we kind of, I wrote it with my ex as well. And so Tom Jordan, Mitch Thompson and Stephen Schmaltz in Nashville. And it was just the funnest session. Like we walked into the room and Stephen had this like synth sound and Tom was like, oh, okay, like let me hop on the keys. And he just started like playing the synth, and then Mitch is like, I don't get where we are. Like, so it was just the funnest day. And Stephen is like in his house, his studio is like got all these synths and all these things around. He has fridges filled with like, what are those crow, they're like seltzers.
Oh, seltzers. White Claw
it's something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Drank heaps of those. Had heaps of lollies. My energy was like boop, and then went drop. And best day ever.
That's awesome. For yourself, with a song that, like, I guess, because it is a definite bop, but it is also, as you said, it's a song about like female sexuality and empowerment. Do you feel that, although it's silly that as like a society that there are still not issues, but I guess like in the news there's still debate over like the WAP performance at the Grammys or things like that. Do you think that if the song had been released like a few years ago that there might have been an issue with it, or do you think does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, there's, it would have been cool if it was even released years ago, because it could have been like the change for people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's starting to get more of a thing for people are embracing female sexuality more and are getting more comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
So I've definitely always wanted to be that person, because, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin for a while, and, still not really am, but I'm trying to really embrace that and push for it. And the whole WAP performance, oh my God, there's just been so many people like up high that have been like, oh, Cardi B, like just doing that, and it's like so sexual, and why would they do that? Yet they have these like all these male singers like putting girls down in a chair and giving them a lap dance at their concerts, and all these guys have just sung about all that stuff for years in their rap songs. Yet when Cardi B does it, it's a huge problem. Like,
I don't quite understand, why there's never been such uproar for male singers talking about any range of sexual thing that they've done over the last 50, 60 years. But apparently, the last 2 years of women singing about it, and it's the end of days.
Yeah. God, what came out on the last writing camp that we did for like last year, and everyone, like the whole camp was just like on the floor learning the dance. It was the best thing ever.
The video for Hard For Me,
yes,
features a young handsome gentleman who I believe you found on TikTok. Is that correct?
No, that was a lie.
Oh, okay.
That was a big lie. Oh my God, my phone. We just literally did that because I was trying to find content, and I was like, he commented on the video. I was like, this is a good idea to kind of get everyone, but obviously no. We were looking through heaps of models and heaps of people beforehand, and he just turned out to be the right fit because he was tall and he had abs and good looker, and he was one of the best people to work with on set as well. Like, what we showed in the music video was nothing compared to what I was to how touchy I actually got with him. So I'm kind of happy that we didn't, show all that, but it could have been very uncomfortable on the day, and he made that such a comfortable, funny experience.
That's good. That's awesome. Well, yeah, the video obviously worked. I fell for it. A few other people I've spoken to have as well.
God.
On that subject, as an artist in 2021, what are your thoughts on, because it's not just like songs these days, like you've got to be a songwriter, a singer, possibly a dancer or instrumentalist, you've got to be a content creator for TikTok, Instagram, yeah, what are your thoughts on having to kind of be across all of those platforms now as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, I found it really difficult getting into TikTok at first, and my label really pushed me to start doing it, and I was like, oh. And then I started doing it, and it got so much easier, like as soon as you start doing something, it just becomes a habit. It becomes a part of your routine. So for me, it's really easy to create content and to start doing those things. It's honestly more difficult replying to people. I don't know why, but yeah, content. The most annoying thing probably is just TikTok. But everything else, like I love songwriting. I wrote the script for the music video, so I love really and I did my makeup and hair, so I love being a part of like every single aspect of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you definitely really need to have your say in lots of parts of the whole curation to be a really successful artist, unless you like TikTok famous, and then you can kind of just have anything. But then again, they would work their asses off as well. Like I don't know what that even is like. So I can't really say.
I imagine it's like a different kind of busy for those kind of TikTok stars.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you wouldn't even realize how much work they actually put into like any one of their videos as well. Like they'd just be constantly busy. Like the Hype House, that would be intense. I
know bits and pieces of like TikTok and YouTube stars, and I've got a bare minimum knowledge of the Hype House, but yeah, that just confuses me. Even as like an early 30-year-old, it's still like over my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a content creating house.
Yeah.
I wish we could do that for songwriters, honestly, but
my dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions, and the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
That would get a lot, but it'd be so good.
It'd be very cool to kind of watch you might have stumbled upon something. There might be a bit of a market for that at some point down the line.
It might be. I do enjoy my own space though. We were all thinking like in the future hopefully when we all get rich, we'll all buy like a little tiny house on the Kangaroo Valley property. So we can all just have our own houses and our own showers because we were all sharing one shower. And yeah.
I saw one of the photos. There was quite a few people at that camp. So I can imagine that was probably a little bit much.
22 people.
Yeah, that's not enough showers for 22 people.
No. We'd all just like have to wait in line. But it was great.
For yourself, speaking of like creating and working really hard, I know that this is not just like, it's not you've come out of nowhere or an overnight kind of thing. You've been hustling and writing and performing for years and years and years. Where did that start? Were you like a musical kid, or were your parents kind of into music?
Yeah, well, both sides of my family are actually very musical. My dad is like a singer. He's mainly a drummer. He used to be in this band called Run Silent when he was younger and like toured Indonesia and stuff. So he's done music his whole life and musicals, and that's how he met my mum. And then my grandpa is like an opera singer. My grandma's a pianist. She used to write sheet music for like all the ballets and everything. My papa is plays the trombone. My nana plays the keys. So like both sides of all my cousins play instruments
Quite
as well.
Quite a musical family, yeah.
Yeah, and my sister as well. She's a singer. So we would do musicals my sister, my mum and I were in The Sound of Music together when we were younger, and I was Gretel with the sore finger, if you remember that. And then my sister was, who she was, and my mum was a nun. So, we started doing musicals, and I was in primary school and I joined the high school choir. In like grade 5 or something, or 6. So that was fun. So I feel like I grew quite a lot and learnt heaps about vocal technique and stuff from that, and then kept on doing heaps of musicals and made a band with my cousins called Pink Holy. Don't even ask about that. So I kind of started writing then. You should, if you want to look up on YouTube, PINCOLY, it is some of the most embarrassing and funniest videos. So there's a little start. And then, I always wanted to start writing, and I auditioned for X Factor twice. Didn't make it through either of them. And then the year after, the second time, I auditioned for The Voice. I got onto Jessie J's team and then sung with her on stage. It was insane. And then got kicked off. And then that year I moved to Sydney. And that was 2017. 2017. And went on The Voice again. And then finally made it to the live shows. Got kicked off. And then I started being inspired by music because my ex-boyfriend he's a musician and he's an artist, and he moved to Nashville and he's doing his own project, or Seaforth, as you know, the person who I wrote it with.
Yeah. And
he was my main inspiration for writing music, and the reason I was like, I can do this if I actually put in the hard work. So I did that. And, I've been writing for that many years now. My first session was with Cyrus, and went back and forth from LA, Nashville, New York, and mainly Sydney. And now here I am.
Yeah. Mentioning X Factor and The Voice, obviously those are, they're quite good exposure, but they're also very different from I think like real industry as an artist, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
From that time when you were performing and going through all those things, and then, as you said, singing with Jessie J, what were some of the better things that you learned, both as an artist, like performance-wise, but also possibly like industry-wise as well?
Well, I really learned who I wasn't. If that makes sense.
That's an important one, yeah.
Yeah, I learned who I wasn't, which is like weird. Like you can still, it's so hard to figure out who you are, but you can figure out what you aren't.
Yeah.
So I guess going through all that really just taught me that I needed to write my own music and perform my own songs on stage and have my own choice in stage setup, hair, makeup, outfits, song. Have like my team around me and have a support system, and it's like those shows can give you just so much anxiety, and it's TV in the end, so they can make a mockery of people, which they love doing, and they don't really care a lot of the time for how people feel, which like X Factor was really bad for that. The Voice was a lot better. But yeah, in like industry wise, I met a lot of like hair and makeup artists that were really good. Some good people in the production world, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really like met many people through there that I've like stayed connected with. Really, I've kind of just made my own group. So yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. I think on Instagram recently you shared, where was it, in Phoenix, Arizona, that someone was covering one of your songs. Kind of going back to what we were talking about before with social media and platforms like that, do you find it interesting that being a singer-songwriter or a pop artist from Sydney, and the song is it's only still quite new, it's doing very well, but it's still quite fresh, that it's already kind of reaching people overseas and people are covering it and connecting with it?
Wait, who did that?
I think it was. I don't think it was anyone.
Was it the girl I shared yesterday?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Was she from Arizona?
Yeah, it's.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. The girl who did the like acoustic, slower version of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I died when I saw that. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I mean, I'd hope it would get out there. So that makes me very happy. Yeah, I really hope it reaches Sweden as well. So I can see on my Spotify that it's starting to reach there as well, which is good. It's on the New Music Friday. But yeah, America's a huge goal. So can't wait till that happens.
Obviously, the single is out now. Can we expect some more music to be released as this year goes on?
Yes. Yes, you will.
Can't say much more, can we?
I mean, if you want to, I probably can announce now, I'm doing the Isolate performance on the 18th of this month. So I'm going to be performing a whole lot of songs that are going to be released, and yeah, that's kind of all I can say, I guess, right now.
No, that's very fair. That's awesome. That's very exciting. I'll make sure we put a link in the show notes of the podcast to make sure that people can access that.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
That's all good. Charley, would you be happy to talk about the playlist or your playlist?
Yeah. Oh my God, of course. So, this playlist that I have made is You Are Making It Hard. What is it? You're making it hard for me to not simp.
Yes.
That's what it's called. You're making it hard for me to not simp.
Actually, yeah. Before we even get into the songs, I'm very curious. Where did the title come from?
Well, it's like the whole song is about simping. Do you know what simp means?
I kind of do, but please give a definition for maybe some of the listeners.
Yeah, let me just Google simp definition. Okay. So it kind of says that a simp is someone who does way too much for a person they like. But on TikTok, it's kind of like if you're a simp, you're just like in awe of that person. You're just like, oh my God, my heart is melting. I will do anything for you. Like you are God. So yeah, you're making it hard for me. Obviously, that's a little pun. Do not simp. So it's all songs that are about being in love and just like your heart, like this is amazing. That are on this playlist. And the second song on there, well, the first song is obviously Hard for Me. Had to do that.
Of course.
Second song is Stone by Cyrus. So as a joke, I love the song and I was obsessed with him when he was on X Factor, but I had to put him second on the playlist because it's just a personal joke between our friends that whenever we like bring him up or talk to anyone else about him, we're like, X Factor, Stone. So, yeah. What else would you like to ask?
one, like, it is quite pop orientated. Like, there's Katy Perry, there's Sabrina Carpenter, some Ariana Grande. One song that I do see and that I do believe that you're a fan of, because again, the social media, there's quite a few covers on there, is Paramore, Still Into You.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Paramore. They just like have a special place in my heart, and like I grew up on Paramore, and like all the stuff I did with my band was Paramore as well. And I'm going to do a pop punk project at some point in the future because I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. And when I was younger, the voices that I wanted to like sound like or like replicate or like how I learned to sing from was like Paramore, Kelly Clarkson, Katy Perry. So I've always been a fan of big pop singers who can reach high notes and do runs.
Hayley Williams of Paramore does oddly have like almost like quite a pop voice for what Paramore is, like an incredible voice. But yeah, it's such a good track.
Yeah, just all of them, like, oh my gosh, Misery Business. Oof.
Great song.
Great song.
What else do we have? We've got a bit of Maren Morris as well, like 80s Mercedes and Sugar. Could we... Oh,
that's the number one album. Every time I get in my car and go for like a drive that's longer than 20 minutes, I put on that album. And honestly, like, I'm very inspired by pop country as well. Like, I see myself being sort of like Halsey in the future, because you know how she branches across different genres and does all of that.
Yeah,
I really want to be able to do that at some point. So yeah,
we were discussing actually very quickly, Mariam Morris, that album is very good. My Church is a great song.
I've cursed on a Sunday, 5 GD. Yeah, so
I could honestly just like keep hearing you sing it. Just what you're saying about being like Halsey. Do you think it's important? We've been talking to a few guests about how the lines between genres these days are kind of blurred, and that like if you have an interest in pop country, electro, whatever it may be, that you should be able to you shouldn't be defined by one type of genre.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just anything you're interested in. I think being an artist is just like sticking to what you truly believe in, taking advice from other people, but doing whatever you think. So if you want to make it work for yourself, like, do it. Like, did you see what Lil Nas just posted his music video? He's amazing.
I've seen the headlines. I haven't actually seen what it is. What is it?
It's so good. The music video is like, it's just this whole world of like just all animation, and like at the end of it, he's like sliding down this stripper pole, then he starts grinding on the devil, and then like kills the devil and takes the devil's crown and becomes this like the devil. Like, he's just amazing.
He's nothing if not inventive. Everything I've seen from him, I feel like it's just, there's no kind of through line between them. Like, it's just so obscure and so different, but also still ties back to him, which is really cool.
100%. I think that's definitely like a big thing if you want to do somewhat like well, is just sticking to your, like, I don't know, creating different stuff. Trying to be different, but just trying to be yourself. I don't know. That's all different.
No, I get what you mean.
To look at it.
I get what you. Yeah. Is there any other songs that you would like to highlight from your playlist, or any that kind of stand out to you as like a really important song?
Yes, 100%. I've got a couple, if I can
please
tell you. Number one, the song I would have written if I could have written it was "Show You" by Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I listen to her sing, she showed me that song when she had written it in LA. She like came to the house I was staying at, and she showed me this voice memo of her singing it with the guitar, and I was like, I just started bawling my eyes out. I was like, this is massive. And then it's like one of the highest stream. Yeah, insane. Another one is "Teenage Dream." That's like a all-time
Classic.
favorite song.
Yeah.
You can sing it like a bop. You can sing it like a slow jam. Into You, Ariana Grande. Oh my God. And my favorite artist, probably nearly of all time, is Julia Michaels. That's like, I get so much inspiration from her.
Because there's one or two songs on here from Julia, isn't there?
Yeah, I would add more, but I'm just trying to stick in the whole I'm not tearing out my heart type of thing. And all of her songs, are a lot about anxiety, and this playlist I'm just trying to not make it about anxiety for this one. But for the next song, I will.
That's round 2, part 2.
Part 2. You just wait for this next playlist.
Charley, thank you very much for your time today. I do very much appreciate it.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't talked this in depth about anything yet, so it's been really nice talking to you and being able to share my story.
And that's our show. Thank you again to Charley. Her latest single, Hard For Me, is out now. We've included links in the show notes to both her Spotify and the Hard For Me video on YouTube. We also want to give a quick shout out to Mariam at EMI Music Australia for helping with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of Charley's picks. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday and Friday morning, with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.